is Megan Captain and I'm the high school coordinator. I am so excited you guys are here for week 2 of small groups. If you weren't here last week, we talked about identity and we formed our own identity within ourselves and our identity as a group. So catch up with your group if you weren't able to be here last week and they'll fill you in. Let's get started.
Hi friends, my name is Reverend Sarah Alexander. I serve as Deacon of High School and Young Adult Ministries at Birmingham First United Methodist Church. And it's a pleasure to be here with you this evening. So a little bit about me. My favorite drink at Starbucks is probably a pink drink. Yes, that's like literally a thing that you can order. And my favorite fast food would probably be Taco Bell or just tacos, anywhere you could get tacos. I think one thing I really struggled with when I was a teenager was just kind of comparing myself to other groups or, you know, just thinking about like, am I in or not in, popular or not popular. And one thing I loved about being a teenager was probably in high school when I could drive and I just had, you know, fun with my friends driving around, especially in the summer. So it's great to be here with you. Tonight we're actually talking about spiritual disciplines. And I think that this is probably one of the least discussed topics because sometimes there's like guilt around spiritual disciplines. And often I think we don't actually even know that we're engaging in spiritual disciplines sometimes. So first off, like what does spiritual disciplines even mean? So first of all, spiritual. So obviously to be connected to God. And you might not know what that means for you, and that's totally fine. Or you might still be discovering what that means for you and how you feel connected to God, and that's also fine. I think I probably didn't understand or even really feel the presence of God until I was in high school. And truthfully, like as an adult, I still don't do a great job all the time, like carving out time to just be with God. And then disciplines, I really kind of think that discipline means like stuff that we do to be better. So people who are very disciplined have basically figured out what they need to be healthy. So whether it's with their bodies, maybe a workout routine that works for them, and when they stray from it or put it on the back burner, they just like kind of feel like blah. Or maybe a discipline might be going to sleep at a reasonable time so that you can get up and do digital learning. And when you don't do it, you kind of like feel worn down, or you might need to sleep in and catch up on your sleep. Or something as simple as like flossing your teeth. So if you try to go to the dentist a few days into flossing your teeth, your dentist will totally know that you've not been flossing the whole time. And so you can try to kind of catch up and try to just floss, get all of your 6 months of flossing into just a couple days. But, you know, the second the dentist looks in your mouth, they'll actually be able to tell if you've been disciplined or not with flossing in the days coming before your appointment. So things that we do with God are really very much the same. Some of us connect with God through listening to music or coming to worship or participating in a small group like this. And not to get like too United Methodist Church nerdy, but we United Methodists really dig things like spiritual disciplines. We really feel like it's the best way for us to connect to our understanding of grace. And one of my favorite things about our denomination is that we do understand that grace is present whether we do some of these things like prayer and fasting and worship or we don't. God always loves us and is always continually coming toward us and seeking a relationship with us, even when we kind of stink at doing it sometimes. And even though we have that grace, there are still things that we can do to continually improve our relationship with God and be connected to God through practices or disciplines. these things that help us stay in routine, things that help it make a priority for us. And we call these acts of piety and acts of mercy. And those are really just very heady words for how we are able to keep our hearts and minds, bodies, brains connected and staying focused on God. So first, acts of piety. This is stuff that keeps our hearts and our souls focused on God. And we can do them together or we can do them individually. So things that we can do on our own individually, things like reading, meditating, studying scripture, prayer, fasting, and that can be through food or things like social media or technology or sugar, whatever keeps us sometimes distracted and not connected to God. Regularly attending worship, healthy living, sharing our faith with others. Those are things that are internal that help keep our hearts and our souls focused on God. And then we can also do things together. We can share in the sacrament. So right here I have a chalice and paten and a pitcher and a basin. So for us, sacrament means communion and baptism. Other things that we can kind of do together to help our hearts focus in addition to sacrament would be having conversations about life and about issues, either through meetings together, just spending time together, or through Bible study. So those are acts of piety. Acts of mercy is kind of stuff that keeps our bodies and our heads connected to God. And again, those can be either individual or together, communal. And so those are things like doing good works, visiting the sick, feeding the hungry, giving generously to those in need. I also think about this as what is the intention for you personally for how you're going to live your life and how you choose to spend your time. And then again, with acts of mercy, you can also do this with other people. And so the communal practices of acts of mercy would be seeking justice, ending oppression and discrimination. For example, John Wesley, the founder of Methodism, really urged Methodists to end slavery. And also things like addressing the needs of the poor, advocating for those who are unable to do it for themselves, breaking down systems of oppression, things like that. And sometimes I think this is like how we choose to spend our time communally with others. The most important thing, whether you're praying, fasting, attending worship, taking communion, I think the very, very most important thing is that you try. It's not always going to be perfect. It's not always going to be something that really jives with you or seems organic to who you are, but to continue to try to find ways that really rejuvenate you and help you feel connected to God. So continue. This is a great list to try to think of how you might best connect with God, and to use that list to continue to seek out ways that God might be calling you into a relationship. And so with that, I would leave you for a discussion with your small groups. And I hope that you continue to seek out ways that you might connect with God.
All right, guys, I have two announcements for you. Our first one is about the sock drive that we're doing for Noah's project in Detroit. We are asking for men's crew socks. So we have two competitions going, one within our youth, all of us, and then one against the whole entire congregation. So we'll have two competitions, and whatever small group between high school and then another competition for middle school has the most pairs of socks will win a dessert party of their choice. And then we are competing against the whole congregation, which we know we will win. And we want to donate over 1,500 pairs of socks. And one last announcement, we are asking for donations of firewood. We have all these pits, which is awesome, so we can have a bonfire and feel close to each other each Sunday, but we need your help. So if you have a ton of firewood in your backyard or your parents can donate some, let me know and we'd be so thankful.